Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cavecast. I am your host, Kyle, and as always, I am joined by Joanna Man. If this is your first time checking us out, we want to first and foremost just say thank you, and then also for our reoccurring viewers, and not so much the hearies, but the viewers, they will notice that there is a difference of location. Something's different. So basically, what's going on is that we are using the space in here to basically build up an actual thing, an actual, studio, an actual place that, can do some pretty wicked stuff. So I'm excited. So it's going to be cool, man.
It's a pretty decent sized room, actually. I mean, it's technically technically a spare room. What?
I was just checking something. We were getting a little bit of we're gonna figure out new sounds and things and stuff that are going on in here. This is a new room. I'm getting a slight buzz that's happening. I don't know if that's necessarily from anything in particular, but
hopefully in the next 2 to 3 episodes, even the backgrounds of it here should.
I was trying to hear to see if it went away, but yeah.
Oh, did it? Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Okay. So any Rodecaster Pro user out there, this is actually a proven thing. I've had this happen at my work before, is that if you're using an audio device that's as hefty as this, do not have your phone near it. It will interfere. All the microwaves coming out of it. It's all a conspiracy, man.
It's all microwaves.
Actually, did you see Ryan Reynolds on
finally got my G5?
Yeah, I do. Or 5G.
G5.
He got his G5 airplane. There's a lot of things I would do for a G5 airplane.
I'm sure he probably could. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, his 5G. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
It's because for a fact, he's always going to have a good sense of humor about everything that's happening around him. So it's like he can even find something as, potentially serious like that. And he's able to be like, hey, man, it is what it is. It's what I'm doing, So, but that was just funny.
It was. I got a chuckle out of it.
But no, tonight's kind of a different episode, with the new setup and with, the location change and things like that. There's a lot of change happening around, me and, just some things that's going on. So basically what I've decided to do in the process of things and everything is that I am taking every positive that I have and trying to multiply it as much as possible, and any negative that I have, I am trying to turn into a good thing.
Right.
So that's basically not that I want tonight to become like a motivational speech thing, or anything to that effect, but it's one of those things where it's like, look, I just want to be able to know for a fact that, if I'm given the opportunity to do something and I don't take it, that's on me.
Yeah.
So
I get you. That's understandable.
That's how I'm looking at this. And basically what I told Eric earlier today was that I wanted to talk about our goals tonight. Talk about, things that, we want to do that maybe that, we have started working on, or maybe things that we're nowhere near close. This is something that's a dream that we haven't even brought into existence. Mm-hmm. So it could be anything. I joked with him earlier that it was kind of like, a goal for myself eventually would be I'm not including this in my 3, but this is just as an example of how silly this can be, or if this is going to be something to that effect, is I want to beat Doom Eternal on Ultra Nightmare eventually.
Right.
It's ridiculous, dude. There's no way in hell I should be able to do that at all.
It's hard, man. It's so hard, even just on regular.
It's actually, for all the Doom fans out there, I haven't even finished Ancient Gods Part 2, man. The Dark Lord is really pissing me off, and I just can't get past it, man. So I haven't found my groove. It's
pretty ridiculous.
It's a whole new thing, but yeah. So it's basically that's how this is focused. Is that we are just trying to articulate, put some things out there that. It's like, hey, this is something that we want to do. This is something that we are dreaming of, or something that we are very passionate about, or maybe something we're scared of, or something to that effect. I want to do that. I want to jump into that and just go from there. It's that's because I know that I'm very I want to say if like juiced is the right word, but it's like I'm very like juiced up about like all the stuff that that I know for a fact that I'm shooting for and that I want to try to do.
Oh yeah,
things like that. So I guess you can kind of say this is an episode that's kind of I really wanted to do this, but in the same hand as that, I think that this could be really cool for not me, but also just you as well, man. Like this is good.
Absolutely. So. That's going to be, I mean, probably something that we get into tonight. So yeah, let's go ahead and. If you want, go ahead and.
I actually would like you to start us off. If you
you want me to start us off?
I want you to start us off.
Which one do you want me to start us off with? Because I'm pretty sure you know at least two of them.
Give me the one that I won't expect last, if there is one, or maybe something that's like not as apparent. That way, it's kind of like we're building to something where it's like I don't know and the audience doesn't know. It's just like that whole thing.
Well, right. See, like here's the thing is that I guess probably the least expecting one is I think this is an ultimate goal for me. With the other probably major one taking up a lot of money, I guess you could say.
Okay. Yeah.
I would really like to go to like Ireland.
Ooh.
I really would like to I don't want to say travel, but I really would like to take like a vacation like that, whether it's by myself or whether I go with something like it doesn't matter. Like I eventually within the next couple of years, I mean, that might be hard to do in the next few years, but I really would like to. I don't know why. I've always had a fascination with wanting to go there and just see it. Like it just seems
beautiful, dude. It's amazing.
So I think that kind of is an ultimate goal for me. I don't know why. You could say that's like a bucket list, but it's not. Like it that is like an actual goal. I've never like taken my own like vacation. Like gone somewhere. So I think, everybody does Disney, everybody does Hawaii, everybody. Speaking of my boss, he actually he flew out today. Him and his wife, they went to Hawaii for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's got to be such a good refresher after everything and just, all that.
And what's cool is that his wife has like a best friend that lives in Hawaii that they're like staying with. So they don't even have to really worry about so much like a place to pay to like stay. Now they are going to like a bed and breakfast with the friend and stuff for a couple of days, but other than that, no, they're just gonna kick it with the friend and like just hang out and just I don't want to say not like a staycation, but they're gonna go out and do stuff, but they get to like hang out with a friend, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So Adam, if you ever watch this for any reason, cheers, man. Hopefully you made it safe. We'll find out.
Go look at yours. Yeah. So it'll be a good time. Had a good time, man. That sounds awesome, man.
But no, so that kind of is, like I said, an ultimate goal. I mean, I kind of had more than just maybe 3 if we get to it, but that was just a short one. And it's just, I think because I've never done something like that to where it was like my vacation, like that I wanted to go do.
Right.
And I know it's not going to be cheap. I know it's not going to be like really expensive. And I mean, hell, I know what Adam paid round trip for him and his wife for 2 weeks. It was not that much, man, for plane tickets. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. It's interesting when you look at travel now and like, the people that do and don't. And like, it's just because it's the idea of like, it cuts the crowds and just like does it like, it's ironic, but it is kind of like the best time to travel as far as the convenience. But obviously there is it's like, it isn't the best time to travel. It's that whole deal.
Yeah. Kind of give and take. Like, no, cause Hawaii is still a place that requires you to have a test, like proven test of COVID before you enter. So they had to, go get tests. Like it was like 72 hours before their plane took off, and they had to have proof.
So they didn't even need like a vaccine or anything. It was just a test.
You just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. So they didn't even need like a vaccine or anything. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need to have the test say that you're clear. It was just a test. No, you just need
It really does make you wonder if Hawaii is actually one of the best places to be, just because it is so cut off from everything. Like,
I don't know.
I mean, as far as like, being able to avoid stuff. I mean, cause you don't really hear about there being cases in Hawaii or anything. It's always like in New York or Washington or like that. That's what I hear.
Right.
But
you're right. But I'm pretty sure Mac, one of my old bosses at Verizon, he's actually Hawaiian. Like he actually came from Hawaii to Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, fucking why, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. Just because, I mean, we're here, we know what it's like.
Well,
don't come here.
Yeah, well, no, he said it's the same thing in Hawaii. Like he's like, it's not what it's cracked up to be, man. Like, yeah, the tourist spots are cool, but that's like anything around anywhere. Like it's in any state or any place. Like, yeah, of course Florida's cool where Disney and everything is. Yeah, it's Orlando. Well, of course it's fun.
Right.
Like, kind of thing. So I get it, but at the same time, I mean, dude, and he said, yeah, shit's expensive because everything's pretty much, you have to import it.
Yeah.
That's true. So you don't have the luxury of like just milk being $2,
Right.
So there is that. But anyways, no, that, like I said, that was a short one. And that is, like I said, it's a weird one, but I don't know. That's at least one of the kind of random ones, like smaller ones. But that is if I can't, I won't really be that upset. The other ones would be the ones I would probably be a little more upset about if they don't happen.
Right.
So yeah, I guess that's kind of how I look at that one. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, I would have to 100% agree, dude. Ireland is just, that's a place that I've had people in my life before that have talked about that place and have been like, that's somewhere I want to go before I die, or at least say that like my feet were on the soil or like whatever, just like I was there. It makes you wonder if they have the same mentality about like, their place too, where it's like, why do you want to come here? Like, it's like, it's all that they know, or like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like they have the same thing too, but I doubt it. Probably not, because Ireland's just so fucking cool. But
yeah.
But no, it's just it's interesting when you think about that, and it's like you realize that it's not you trying to go to these, like, it's not like, oh, if I go to a different place or whatever. It's like, no, it's just the idea that it's like you're going somewhere new. Mm-hmm. You're going, like, it's not just a different place. This is a new place you've never been to.
Yeah, I don't even know that I would necessarily have to go to like a quote unquote touristy spot. Like, I just want to go to Ireland and experience Ireland in general. Yeah. I don't need to go to like Dublin per se. Like that's where I think a lot of people like if I do, cool. Like that's not why. Like, I want to just go to Ireland.
Right.
And like, from probably the moment I step off the plane, I will probably never stop. That'll probably be one of the first times, other than obviously having a child, to take pictures of every day, but I will probably not stop taking photos.
Right.
Just because, like, that is something that has always been kind of like deep in my mind. Even kind of as like being younger, I really had that like urge to want to always go there for some reason. I don't know. It just always seemed really interesting to me and very beautiful, and almost kind of like I want to say home, but I don't know. There's just something about it. It just seems really, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, not wholesome. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know. That is just something that has always struck me. Yeah, everybody wants to go to Vegas. I still want to go to Vegas. Everybody wants to, go to Chicago or, LA or all these things. Yeah, cool. Man, no. If I got to choose one place, if it was like, all right, you got to go for a week or 2 weeks, man, 2 weeks would be stellar. Mm-hmm. If I had the choice of all of those cool places everybody wants to always go, I would definitely be like, nah, man, I'm going to go over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
absolutely. Yeah. It's dude, like, especially now in the time that we're living in where it's just like, man, like this is just, it's crazy. Like even like, you know, the few spring days that we've had, which I mean, anybody that's in Ohio right now, by the way, I've seen so many TikToks today because I'm trying to get back into TikTok, which I recorded one today on my camera and went to upload it and it's not the right quality. It won't accept it. So I was like, kind of took the wind out of my sails for that for a little bit. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wait till inspiration hits again. So
man.
Because I nailed it and did what I wanted. I was like, oh, so, but no, dude, like as I was scrolling through on TikTok, when I was scrolling through, there was like 12 people that were from Ohio that made fucking TikToks about the fact that it's snowing today because it is bullshit. It's like we woke up this morning and you looked out the door and your reaction, I didn't have to look outside. I knew what happened.
So here, let me explain to you fully what happened.
You wonder why Ohioans use so much profanity. This is why. It's 100% horrible.
I was up, so I had to be at work like pretty early today, and like earlier than normal, I guess I should say. Anyways, so I was up about 6:30, 6:45, but I was like, all right, I'm just laying in bed for a few. And I normally get up at about 7 to 7:30 anyways to let Thor out.
Right.
And, you know, whatever. So I was in there and I was like, all right, and just kind of like BSing for a minute. And I was really mad that like I was up and like I had to stay up. And
especially when your routine just is the complete opposite. It's like, no, this isn't right.
So I came out and you were already kind of just like shuffling around and just, you know, a one eye open kind of. And I opened the door, dude, covered. I mean, it was more than just a dusting on the. Now, it wasn't like the roads were bad. Don't get me wrong. The roads weren't like terrible or anything.
That was what made my heart sink because I was just like, God, seriously. Because I'm like, it's just going to be a pain in the ass. Like, I just didn't want to deal with it. Like,
it wasn't like the roads were bad.
It just sucked.
But there was snow fucking everywhere, and it was freezing as cold.
And by the way, this will not be released today. But today is April 1st, so this was, you know,
big
Mother Nature.
Fuck you! I wanted to punch Mother Nature in the fucking taint.
That could not have worked any better. Like that is just like after
fuck you.
Like that should have happened in 2020, but for some reason it was delayed. Why? You know, it's like that. Like that's what
comes.
That's what comes.
It was delayed in 2020, so 2021. Are we starting off with another fucked up bang?
I think April 1st. I think things are going to go ahead and clear up very soon.
My April 1st was shit. Like. Today was shit for me, for you, for
there was
a lot of people. Actually, there was a lot of people that it was a shit. Riley, it was a shit show for Riley. Man. Riley had, I forget, she explained it was like two things. And then she also drank expired milk.
Oh.
So that was like when it ended.
Oh,
I was like, ew.
No. Dude. That's so fucking bad.
Yeah, so
that is so bad.
I was like, everybody's just having a shit day.
God, I mean, my day wasn't that bad. Like, I mean, I could get over it pretty quickly, but
well, wow. I mean, it was
I got this thing about stomach and intestines thing. That's
I mean, she was cool, but
no. All
right, well, your TikTok Ohioans.
If I had to really dive into one of the three goals that I have, I'll start big. I want to start reading for audiobooks.
Oh.
That is something that
I thought you meant for a second, I'm like, oh, he just wants to listen to books being read. No, you.
Well,
no,
I do. Yes, yeah, that's something else I want to do too. But
you want to be the person that is reading the book, for people to hear.
Yeah, I do have an account that is connected to Audible that I can lend my voice if I want to. There's no guarantee that it will work. There's thousands of people that are on there that are doing stuff, and this was a while ago. It was probably maybe 6 months after I had bought the board and we started doing this, and like everything kind of turned into what it is now. And basically I auditioned for like 3 or 4 of them, and, did my own spin on it, and, did my very best to, speak with the best diction I could and put the emotion that I felt that was necessary, or, do the voices I thought that were described from, the summary that I got. Because it was like, you had like a paragraph that you would basically send out. And it was probably a week later, I got an email, and it said, it was a personalized message from the person that was the judge and like deciding on like who was going to, that's also a daunting task too. Who do I pick to read my book? Like the thing that I've poured my life into and my everything. That's a very important thing. And I know that's not something to be taken lightly. And that's something that you need to be sure that like, this is going to sound the way that you want it to.
Exactly. It's got to be the way you want it to sound.
I would be picky as fuck. If it wasn't, I mean, obviously I know for a fact that if there was an audiobook, I would just do it, or whatever, but it's put in the same hand. That's a big deal. And the email that I got was basically saying, hey, I thoroughly enjoyed and loved what you did. You were actually the last out of 3. And basically this person said it was one of the hardest decisions I had to make. And I apologize, but I had my reasons as to why I did, but you made it to this point. Now it's crossed my mind, before, where it's like, do they tell everybody that or whatever?
Sure.
But it kind of like awoken kind of like a fire in a way, where I was kind of like, you know what? This fire's not ready to burn right now. But when it does come time for it, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
So,
so that's really interesting, man. Like I kind of dig it.
Well, yeah, people can hear the cars and stuff going by.
I kind of dig it, actually.
Cool. And actually, well, this, along with that, this is not a goal, but this is something that, is going to happen, is that we're going to put the foam everywhere. Like you have the ideas of like how that's going to look. There's going to be LED lights in here and stuff once, funds allow, and like just things like that. And I'm just curious as to when the foam's up, if we'll be able to hear it, or like how like prominent it'll be.
I often wondered if we may have to like go over like to our left, or maybe to over here, just in case.
Right.
Because we'll get into some other things later, because I'm going to probably need it to be again, it's not going to be completely soundproof, but I'm going to probably need to be somewhere then away from that window if it doesn't, because of what I'm going to end up doing probably as well. So,
well, I mean, it's honestly, it's the same, like, this is the whole idea of like what Corpse Husband dealt with for a long time, where he said his roommate or whatever, whoever was living with him, was sick and was coughing, and was like, it was extremely difficult to record during that time. And he even said at the end of one of his videos, he was like, look, he's like, I'm not mad at this person or whatever, but just understand that is something I have to work around. I can't have coughing in the background. And his videos still sounded great. So it's like I'm
glad he wasn't like an asshole about it.
I mean, who knows what happens when the camera's off? I mean, or when the mics are off or whatever, but I don't know. But yeah, that is something that I have I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with the audiobook that I had, which was It by Stephen King. And Steven Weber, who was the narrator of that story, if by some odd thing he sees this, he was fantastic.
I heard
he was
a
great.
few bits, and it was good.
even like the way he did the voice of, the old woman when Bev is back at, her old house. And like, he had the inflection of like the German, like, heritage of this woman, but it was Pennywise messing with her, and Bev is trying to keep it together to not like give in for Pennywise to know, but she knows she's sitting down with this tea in front of him in this living room. She's in it. Like she can't get, and it's like that. Like it's done so well in the book. And Stephen just did a fantastic job of narrating that. I felt like I was there. I had to listen to it with the door that where I was staying at that point. There was a door that was behind me on my desk. I had to turn the chair around to like look at it. Like I want to be able to do that, not to necessarily scare people, but if I'm given a romance novel, I want to read it how it should be. If I'm given a science fiction novel, I want to read it how it should be. That's something that I've very, very much thought about, and I really want to do. And I'm very excited to be able to just know, like, you know what, I'm just gonna read 4 pages today. I'm going to do this. And, also for my job, I have to speak too. So I do need to be careful, and I need to learn, like, what is too much and stuff. But in the same hand, I'm inspired by people like Kevin Conroy, who voiced Batman for the animated series. And he said that old like voice of like how it's down, like Joker, like that kind of like, thing. He said that it was difficult for the first like year that he did it because his voice would give, because he had to do that rasp and stuff. And he's like, I learned how to do it where it wouldn't hurt me. Yeah. Where I could speak for as long as I needed to, so it's, I mean, your voice is a muscle. It needs to be worked. It needs to be taken care of.
Yeah. And you also have to do it the right way.
Correct.
You can't just scream and scream and scream or do certain things without it being done, because you will damage yourself.
Especially too. What was crazy was I remember I think it was John Dimaggio. He made a Netflix special called I Know That Voice, and it was one. It might still even be on it. If not, we can probably find it on Fire Stick. Like, it's worth watching because it's just really fucking cool. It's like an hour and 12 minutes, and it was just a film John Dimaggio did about voice actors. They even had I'm not gonna try to look it up or whatever, but like I kind of just wanted tonight to just be like an organic thing or whatever, unless if we need to look something up, I want to make sure we get our facts straight. But
gotcha.
But no, it was one of the ladies that did like Rocky and Bullwinkle, like all the way back in the day. Like, she was on there and she talked about what it was like to voice act back in like, the early days and stuff. And like, all of the, the greats of voice acting. Nolan North is on there. He's talking about stuff. Like, he's like, at one point he said, if you have played Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, he's like, if you hear frag out, he's like, that's me. He's like, I'm the one that did that. Like, it's like, it was just,
that's cool. Like, you have, even when it's those, like little ad libs.
Yeah. It was,
that's interesting to see like what these people still did.
John Dimaggio, he plays Bender on Futurama, and he also played the Joker in the animated Batman movie Under the Red Hood, which was fantastic.
Okay.
But he's done a lot more. But essentially, he would talk about how in this film, he basically said that when he would do video games, like he voiced, I think it was the main character of Gears of War for a few of the games. And he said that he's like, whenever I schedule video games, I do them at the end of my week. That way I've got time to recover. He's like, I've got the weekend to kind of like not talk at all, kind of take a break and stuff. He's like, because video games require a lot of shouting. They require a lot of like those breaths and stuff. Like, you have to do, like, you've died from being stabbed. Okay, now you've died from being shot in the neck. Now, like, it's all these different, that
is very
prompts.
true.
So, like, I'm excited to do stuff like that. I'm excited to try that out. One of my goals, this is what it rolls up into, is that I said I want to read audiobooks. That is the first step into that goal. What I ultimately want to do is I want to become an actual voice actor. That's something I want to be able to do. I want to be able to know that the recording space we're going to have in here is where, like, if someone wants a sample of something, everything is COVID, dude. Everybody's at home. This is what happens. You send in your stuff. Like, I don't want to say I take advantage of that, but I want to take advantage of that.
I mean,
I want to,
why wouldn't you?
I mean, because I understand that acting is very, very much an attack on your character. Excuse me. Not so much for voice acting because what you look like is irrelevant. But Will Friedle from Boy Meets World has said before, he's like, I've been on that 4-hour train ride to an audition for me to walk into the room and they look at me and go, "You're too fat, leave." And he's like, okay. He's like, you have to basically disassociate yourself from your own personal like pain and just be like, all right, this wasn't for me. You know, it's just, it doesn't mean that you are overweight. They're saying they're not what they want. And it's like, so
right. You're too big for the role. That's not what they're looking for.
Right. And I've often thought about, could I take that critique from my voice? Like, could I handle that? Like, that's like, I've wondered that. I've also thought like, do I have the stamina to keep doing this? Do I have the ability to, do like, you know, fill in the blank? You know, it's like,
I think you would have the stamina. I mean, you sing, so
right.
you have a understanding and a better grasp than probably maybe most like voice actors, just because of the fact that you know how that breath control is, how the how to work your vocal cords probably a little better than just somebody like me that would go do it.
Right. And
so did you just realize we were by the vent?
Well, I was listening to it. Again, this is good stuff that we're going to learn is we are right above the laundry room, which has the furnace in it. So, which it's keeping us warm, which I'm thankful because fuck outside. Yeah. But, well,
it'll still kick on when the air's on.
So, yeah, but honestly, if I could work it out to where like we like cut it right before we record, and as soon as we're done, we go right out there and just turn it right back on to where there's no audio interference. That's probably what I'll end up doing, but we'll see what happens.
You're good,
but no, man. I love getting lost in watching the voice actors that I know show off.
Well. And you get a groove, man, and like that's where I think you would excel at.
I just, dude, like there's something so amazing about being able to watch. I mean, I understand this is motion captured and everything, but like watch like Norman Reedus be able to interact with somebody that maybe wasn't even there. But because they had to motion capture things at different times or whatever, or maybe there's times where it's like, him and Troy Baker they were on the same stage and they acted together, or like, maybe it's like, you're getting to work with people that you never thought you would. Like we talked about, like, Troy Baker worked with, Kevin Spacey at one point, it's like, that's, even with the horrible shit that he did, like, that's crazy. Like, it's like the fact that they like the video games and like, cartoons and all this stuff, it's like they've truly become a very professional art, and it's something that I love. It's something that I revere, and I even if I never ever make it anywhere, it would be just be so cool to know that, all right, man, I've got a book due this week. I'm going to go ahead and like this entire week, I'm not playing video games. I'm not doing anything. I'm not writing. I'm working this week. Like I'm going home. I'm going to go ahead and do my thing. I'm going to do this. I'm doing that, yada, yada. And it's just, it's made me really want to see how far I can push my voice and like the things that I can do. And like an example is not anything that I can do as far like right now, because I would still have to practice to be able to do it because this shit is ridiculous. But imagine a character and then imagine that character doing an impression of another character. You then have to keep the mannerisms of that character while then applying mannerisms on top of another character.
Right.
And that's the point that I want to be able to get to. I want to understand how that works because there is a method behind it. There is a way to be able to do it, to know what to hang on to. Like when you're doing like a Scottish accent, or if you're doing a British accent, like can you do a British accent of somebody pretending to be, I don't know, something like Sauron or whatever. Like it's things like that. Like it gets complicated. Yeah. That shit gets me excited, dude. I love that stuff.
Well, look at it's so funny you say that. It's kind of ties into this, is that I was thinking about how I've said before, I'm pretty sure on the podcast, that I like the fact that I would watch House bloopers.
Oh yeah.
And before and after I realized Hugh Laurie was British and he actually had a British accent.
He was in Stuart Little and Stuart Little 2 before I even realized that, dude. It's crazy.
He would do scenes, and when like he would mess up or like somebody would mess up or whatever, and he would be like, "Oh no, come back." He never broke his English accent.
Oh wow.
He stayed
or American. He never broke his
excuse
American,
me. Yes.
Which is funny because they're both English, but yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, American accent. He never broke that when he would say like, "Oh, my bad," or "Bring it back," or "I can do that again."
You still had that Dr. House like kind of
yes.
sound to him. Like,
well,
you know, yeah.
It wasn't even like it was deep, but he just kept the American accent. He never went back like slipped into like his original. So he kept.
It's incredible. It's incredible how good it sounds.
I often wonder if people like him that do shows keep it like the entire season while they're filming.
I could see that.
And then in the off season, they're
like, God, I can't wait to not fucking talk like that. Or like, oh, Jimmy, I can't wait to not talk like this anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. But no, so that's where like I get the fact of like you get in that routine and like you have your thing with it because like that's had to have been like what he did. He was so comfortable with his voice acting, and he got into the routine of every day when he came to work. This is what he did, even when he fucked up.
Yeah,
he still talked like that. And once I realized that, I found that quite impressive. That he took it that serious.
Right.
He didn't bounce like he said. Yeah, even if it was just because like, oh, I fucked up, but like, yeah. Okay, whatever. But at the same time, you stayed in character the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be hard to do. Actor, voice actor, anything, because your habit is to talk the normal way that you know how to talk.
Yeah.
Because I always made the joke, it was like, well, if he can do that, why the fuck doesn't he just talk like that all the time? And Ashley said before, she's like, okay, well, if you need to have an Australian accent for a movie, and you nail it, are you gonna keep talking with an Australian accent when you're done? No. I'm like, man, that was deep. Like I get it. Like that made sense when you put it that way.
There are actors that like for instance, Jim Carrey kind of almost wrote a line with me of like I kind of almost didn't like him for a while. Only because of the fact of that he is so method. He does it to the. I'm careful how I say this because I'm like the second I name somebody, I don't want something like to be like, oh, do you hear about what Kyle said about Jim Carrey? Like I don't want that. But it's like in the same hand, it's like he has kind of an annoying way of going about it, but you see the product that he creates with what he does. Like he does it for a reason. Like it's but in the same hand, like. I've seen
he's an overactor.
He is. He is an overactor, but he's good at it. And that's what's so weird about the
you have to overact
trade-off.
a little bit. Yeah, well, I mean, you do have to overact for camera for a lot of things. To make it look a little more believable, but his is a consistent like throughout the entire thing.
I think it was I'm trying actually now I want to make sure I get this right. But
you're right. He does it in such a way that it's not annoying all the time. It's not annoying all the time. Dumb and Dumber, it was meant to be annoying.
Right.
That was the point.
Okay. So you do know about the whole having to film Back to the Future twice thing, right?
Yeah, because it was actually Eric Stoltz.
Correct. Yeah. I was making sure it was him. Yeah. So,
I know my shit, dude.
This is what was really crazy to me was the fact that Eric Stoltz was casted as Marty. They filmed with him, damn near finished, if not did finish the like whole movie, got rid of him, and then brought in Michael J. Fox. And Tom Wilson, who played Biff, he said basically he was like, yeah, he's like working with Eric, like the long and short of it, he's like working with Eric was not fun.
Really?
He said Eric was severely method to the point that he's like, he left like damn near bruises on me when he would push me whenever like the fight would happen, like in the cafeteria and stuff. Like he would go over to him. He would not respond to anything except for Marty and except for whatever the actress was that played his mom. Apparently he was trying to bang her or whatever, but like, it was just like, so he would let it loose for that or whatever. But because he even like Tom, you can find Tom Wilson talk. He's talked about it multiple times, but he's like, hey, Marty, take it easy on the next take, would you, please?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, okay, like, it was just like, man, that was insane. So it's like, that's what I think of when I think of a method actor. I know they're not all like that. Like there's people that can stay in character but do it in a respectful way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that Jim Carrey is, he's the respectful version of that. I don't find him to be like that asshole.
Right.
At least I hope. I've never, knock on wood, I've never heard the horror story about that. But you're right. There is a difference in the method. My thing is that I always wondered was he really an idiot the entire time he filmed Dumb and Dumber? Because I've heard that about him, that he becomes that role.
I think
like
that
on and off, but like to a point. It's not necessarily call him by that like character's name, but how he like acts.
I think
like,
that
around
he probably didn't embrace the like when you go, well, not going to say the real thing, but it's like, the
stupidness.
Like when you go full.
Yeah. That's
so essentially, I think that he really wouldn't have done that. Like Dumb and Dumber 2, I think I probably could see him method acting for that one. But then again, I don't know if he necessarily needs to, because they're literally like, I've heard about this, that when people cast Jim Carrey in the script, it will actually demand him to go Jim Carrey mode. So like, I think that there are movies where it's like, no, like he doesn't need to method act for this. He doesn't need to, do this. Like he's having fun. Like he's just like Liar Liar's not a method acting film. Like he's not going to lie to everybody on set or whatever. Like
that's where I was like, is he just a fucking compulsive liar the whole time? Like,
no, like I don't think that. I mean, because especially
and then if he played Bruce, was he God?
Right. I am Bruce Almighty. Thy will be done. No, but it's one of the best shots ever in cinema. It's great. Basically, there was a behind the scenes of Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, and it was when he's you're gonna know exactly where this is going. It's when he's on the raft with Spike going on the river to the waterfall.
Yep.
And they recorded his reaction, because what they did was that they basically put him on a rough patch of water and just shook the shit out of him, and he just screamed like a little bitch the whole time, because it was like shots they could use for him like falling or whatever. Like it was all practical. It was genius. And I remember the narrator was British, and he's like, and Jim Carrey watched the footage on the monitor after it was done, and nobody laughed harder than Jim Carrey. And he was, dude, I hope I can find the clip someday, just like for like our own personal enjoyment. But it was him with a towel, like drying himself off, still in Ace Ventura garb. And he was watching the screen, and there's him on the screen, like just losing it. And he convulsive laughed, like just like was like gripping like the towel for like it was his like fucking like bingy or something. Like he was just like, oh my God. But yeah, it was wild. So it's like I look at that and I'm like, that was just Jim Carrey enjoying what was going on, but
that's true.
But I mean, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, it's with that, like that is something that I really want to do. That's something that I would love to try to dive in.
I think that's a really awesome like goal. Like I think that's and you're right.
I didn't want to take too much time on it.
Now is the time to do it. And you're right.
With that being said, what is your second goal?
So I've thought about this for a long time. I don't know. You kind of inspired me with, this whole Roadcaster and, the podcast and all this stuff to where, you had a goal and we sat downstairs and talked about it for several weeks. And I was like, dude, you've already done the math. Like, you've done this in your bills. Like, you've done, just pull the trigger, man. Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And so more recently, because it did slightly hold me back from the major goal, not very much, because it's going to help me help you in here.
Right.
So not very much at all, but I was very fortunate to have some help as well. So,
yes.
There was something that I wanted, and because of said thing that I had a goal for, and that is to make my own channel. Now, my own channel is, I know I've said this a lot, even on prior podcasts, but I finally bit the bullet and decided what I needed to do to make it happen. And I've got two things, which is, I'm not sure if I'm going to have two things on one channel. And again, it might not be an all the time thing with the other thing, or if I'll do two, separate channels. Not trying to be greedy, but I just figure it's something that one might take off more than the other. And the second one is the Let's Plays and just whatever.
Right.
So that is not necessarily a main thing I want to do, but so the main thing is I really wanted to do an ASMR channel. It is. I by no means think I'm going to be some huge, major, successful. I'm not trying to do this for a cash grab by any means. This is something that has helped me for a very long time. It has helped me, and it actually helps my daughter in a sense, not necessarily an ASMR video, but sounds, the rain, the noises, the calming things, that's what she goes to sleep to every night. I get it. So she kind of gets that from me, I feel like. And I found that, years ago, and I never thought about it. Maybe one day I would do it. And here's the weird thing. I don't like men ASMR channels.
Yeah, you said that. What is your triggers? You said it was.
So I have.
It was women voices.
So yeah,
or rather, feminine voices.
More of a feminine voice.
Right.
I like and I'll listen to most female voices, but certain ones are better for me.
Right.
It's kind of hard to explain without really hearing it. And here's the thing is that I also have to realize that what I hear sometimes isn't necessarily what somebody else is going to hear, because it's not a trigger for them.
Right.
So I also have to understand that. So that being said, that's why, I know I'm a dude. I don't like male voices for that. It's so weird. I don't like, and again, it's not a sexist thing, but again, I go the opposite direction in this. I only want really female voices. I don't like female, lead roles, if you will. I don't really like female singers and rappers. I don't really, not that I don't have some, I just prefer dudes for that. I don't know why.
I think that there's what I have found when it comes to my art is that as far as the art that I enjoy is, there is a very big thing. Think about this. When Joan Jett started doing what she was doing, that gave a person that girls all over the world could look up to, like, she did this.
Yeah.
I can do this. Like
Right.
there's something powerful about that.
There
man.
really
like,
is.
I envy that kind of
I'm
like
not
thing.
knocking them.
No, but what I'm saying
I'm not
is that
knocking women, people. There are women that do these things. It's just,
no. It's
I just don't like it.
it's dude, and it's kind of like I look at that like that preference is as much of a decision of what you like as it is mustard to ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, what's like, sometimes I am in a mustard mood. Sometimes I am in a ketchup mood.
Yeah.
It's very rarely that I'm in a ketchup mood, but sometimes I just want a
So
hot
weird
dog
because
toast.
that's all you wanted when you were a kid was ketchup.
And now I just eat mustard,
Yeah.
dude. Like I love like a good like bitter brat. Like that's like my thing with.
Oh
with
yeah,
brat, with
me too.
Oh, dude,
I feel
it's
you.
up there.
I
It's
feel you.
so weird that there's actually like I never would have thought that I would have ever said in my life I love something bitter, but dude, there is just something liberating about it. It's great.
Your taste buds change as you
Yeah.
age. But no,
Anyway,
like
but yeah.
that's where like I have, so I get the fact that even though I don't like my own quote trigger as far as like my voice, as far as like a whisper or like a light talking, so mine are female voices, tapping, and like acrylic nails, well, it doesn't have to be acrylic, but tapping and like with nails, and then like tracing like harder objects while like you whisper.
Yeah.
Sometimes even like the ear to ear when they get the microphones that do like side to side.
Yeah.
That can be interesting. And then mirror tapping, light, like not like super hard, aggressive or fast. I don't really get into I don't dig fast like tapping or anything like that. I kind of
You're not boring me, I promise.
No, I know.
So
I sometimes
for the hearies.
I get into like typing, and also if you're like writing.
So just so I can give them an example of something, who's your favorite ASMR person? Because what we found, I actually was shocked. I can't remember who it was, but they were over recently and they didn't know what ASMR was. So if you're not familiar with ASMR, like who is your go-to if you were to listen?
I do have a few, some
Just
big ones.
Give them like a 5-second like preview of like what it is and like what it sounds like and like how it can be, like, because it may spur them onto it, like they may like it.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, do you want to know who I listen to, or you want to know what I listen to?
Either.
Oh, so some big ones for me are like GB.
How you spell that?
GIBI. And then
Okay.
Go to. Are you trying to find something?
Yeah. So I was just gonna play a little sample.
Go to find something. Type in GB like tapping, and and they'll say like whisper or no talking, or like it'll say it, like they tell you.
This says dark and relaxing tapping and scratching close whispers.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's see here. Let's make sure we got this guy.
It'll probably have an ad. She's really famous. Oh, that's how she the flutters with her fingers.
I'll make sure to credit her in this. That way that people can go back to her if you want to listen to her. 21 million views. Ooh.
Good evening.
Ooh.
My name is GB. Welcome to my channel.
That's crazy.
Tonight is a combination of a few of my favorite things.
I think I'm about to get into ASMR.
It's a little fast for me, but
That's incredible.
also visuals for me is like when they do like to the camera, there's certain things like they'll do with their hands. So GB is a big one. Gentle whispering is it's oh my God, is that her name? Yeah. Gentle whispering. She's good. She's got like she's got a bit of an accent.
Okay.
And then I listen to, I mean, there's a lot, man. there's like, what is her name? Tina ASMR. Like, honestly, there's only a few that I really, so go to, here, let me see. Let me find something real quick.
Actually, I just pulled up Paul Zigo's stream right now, and he, I saw the thumbnail and it was like super light out. So he definitely moved out somewhere like out west. So it's just funny.
Type in gentle whispering,
Okay.
mirror, and it's gonna be with her, it's gonna be purple fingernails. 8 minutes and 26 seconds.
Okay.
Click on that.
Hi guys. This is Gentle Whispering. And this is going to be another of my mirror videos. It's going to be whispered.
She's real soft in this one.
Requests to do another one. I am not going to show myself in the video that much though. But I noticed that if I put the camera to the side like this, it gives it a little bit better experience, I think.
Huh.
So that's an old
That's
video.
different.
That I don't know. That is one for me. So that is now there's all kinds of triggers and all kinds of things. So I know that I'm gonna have to do, not, I don't mean have to, but I'm gonna have to do a lot of other things that like I don't get into.
Right.
But I'm still gonna do them because there's gonna be people out there that hopefully go, I don't know if this is actually gonna be my name, but this was just something I was thinking of, like just tattooed ASMR. And
Oh yeah.
so like, I don't know, there might be people out there like, man, I really hope he does this. And that's where you have people, you know, like GB and all these other people, they have their fans, like they ask what they want, and then they'll do these things. They'll go down lists. They'll go and sometimes people just want an entire video. I've seen videos of where people are just counting. It's everything's a trigger for somebody. Like it really is. So that is where I know that, and I've got a couple ideas already for some episodes, but that also comes into play with this room. This room needs to be not soundproof.
It needs to be finished.
It needs to be quiet.
Yeah.
And I need that. So, you know, between the both of us, and, you know, we're kind of slowly but surely going to get this room together. And, you know, I'm chipping in as well because it benefits me because again, even if I don't live here anymore, let's say down the road, I don't live here anymore, I would still probably be like, hey man, I need to come over and record tonight. So because you have the room, why wouldn't I?
Right.
So, you know, me investing a little bit of, you know, I bought the rug in here to help deaden the sound. Well, yeah, you're like, oh man, thanks. You're absolutely welcome. But it also benefits me too.
You guys can't see this rug, but it's pretty fucking cool. It's awesome.
I mean, it's just a great rug, but
I told him I kind of had like a moment in here when I was looking at stuff, like just like seeing this set up and just like, you know, how everything has led to now and everything. Like it was wild. I looked at it and I was like, damn, this is cool.
It's happening.
It was really cool. One of the things that we always do is, you know, break stuff down and put them away and things like that. And
no, we don't have to.
What I didn't get to tell you earlier was I messaged the Deadheads. And I showed them the room and stuff and like what we were doing, like how we were kind of jerry rigging it right now and just like how things were going. And Tom Newby, the Newbie Reviews, he's a part of the group, and I've talked to him a few times, especially like, you know, in chat with the other guys.
Great
and
dudes,
stuff.
Man. They really are, all of them.
It's all of them are so cool. And it's just I'm very, very honored to be able to be in the same chat room with them, let alone
hell, I've been honored to be in a couple of like
Excuse me.
just random ass like calls or like video times with them too, just because I was like around. Like that's really cool, man.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, getting to just hang out with, them virtually, which it's so weird that like you would look at it like, oh, sweet, I got to talk to this person virtually. This is what it is. But it's like, that's what our culture is right now. Like it is what it is, man. Like, and it's like, we were doing it before COVID, like it was kind of like,
yeah, well, and,
so it was just funny, but yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the thing is that again, also with, a pretty cool, toy, I guess I should say that's coming is that also guys, again, this is not a guarantee, but I can almost guarantee with some of the equipment that is going to be showing up very, very, very soon.
Yep.
We could probably do a live stream. No problem.
Yeah. So I'm not going to get too much into it, but yes, that is 100% the fucking goal.
So that is
yeah.
no, that you're absolutely right. So like, that's the thing is that I have been fortunate to have things, happen for me or that I was able to do, or that, like the room or a setup or anything like that, it's all kind of coming together for me. And it's like, just like with your setup and stuff, it's like, all right, all the stars are kind of aligning. This is when I need to do it.
Right.
I need to start this, get in a routine of doing this, and then it's a part of my life.
What's showing up is basically your Rodecaster Pro. Is you just being like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And
correct.
Because I can tell you right now is that, there have been some crazy financial times and stuff that have fallen upon me, with, stuff that has happened. I tell you what, though, I know I come home to this, though, and I can record on it. I can do anything I want. Scary Stories podcast, voice acting, all that stuff. Like it's nice.
But see, that's the thing too, is that
it's worth it.
You also are part of the reason why I can do some of this immediately, because you do have professional equipment for recording. Yeah. So that is also, again, why, with me, quote, chipping in to help build this room and, help you out and make it the way that we want it to kind of look or function. Well, it's a trade-off, man. You're allowing me to use your expensive equipment.
Yeah.
You're allowing me to do, so it's a good trade-off.
Yeah.
I feel like, so, a rug and, some foam, and, whatever, like that's not that much in comparison when I've crunched the numbers on like what it's going to cost for me to help you out and do this. Not even close.
Yeah, no,
it's even close.
Slim to none.
So compared to me having to like buy something like this. So that's why I'm gonna pull the trigger. And like I said, I've been fortunate to have things either already be in my use, or I don't know, in my youth.
In my youth, I was saving for the Rodecaster Pro.
Yeah. Like for my use, or things that I'm actually going to be able to use and do, that I was able to, get or have. So like that is kind of a sign. I feel like this is you're right. This is the time and age where, everybody's home. Everybody is. So for me to do this is, I guess you could say, kind of a dream come true. Again, am I going to get 21 million views? Like, no, dude, I'm not that fucking like big headed that I think that that's going to happen. Right. I want to do this because this helps me. And if I become some kind of bigger YouTuber because of that, I actually would like that, not because of money, but because that many people are going to be able to sleep because of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a whole different thing than just like being, I love reactors and I love all that, but this is not like a reaction video site or anything. This is that's not that kind of channel. This is a legit thing. Like I know what it does for me.
Right.
I know what it does for me. And if I only ever get 1,000 subscribers or 10 subscribers, Well, then those 10 people get to go to sleep when I upload my videos. And hopefully at least 5 of them are excited that it comes out on Wednesdays and Fridays or whatever it is.
There's something to be said about, like when you hear these YouTubers talk about, they're like, yeah, anybody that was around in 2005 when I only had like 20 subscribers, thank you. Like, you're the ones that like fucking pushed me to this point or whatever. Like, you understand, like, when you hear that, which it's so difficult because you just want the immediate payoff of just like, like it getting noticed and the interactions and all that stuff. Like, but in the same hand is that this is what I've learned with the Cavecast, and this is what I've learned with the Kyle Wright 425 podcast and everything. And, the lack of, promoting and like, everything that's been on my end of things is that I've not been in a good place for a long time.
Of course.
And now I feel like I can just take on the world, man.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely. And it's like, I feel like I am able to just kind of take a step back and look at everything and go, all right, I loved doing TikTok. I love doing YouTube. I love doing all this stuff. And it's like being able to see something. So
I thought I saw it, maybe.
Peek through, see if you see something.
I don't know. Is there going to be like a big greasy monster?
Oh my God. No. You're horrible. This is why I want to investigate caves with you. Because I know for a fact if there was a hole, you'd be like, I'll reach in. Oh my God, you should see your face. That's great. No, but
I come back with a real nub though. And I'm like, you should still see your face.
Only you would handle that well. No, but yeah, it's so I guess,
buddy, we're not going to get into anything like that, but I get it. Hopefully now things will be promoted a little better. Things will be a little more clear-minded.
Yeah.
So
I have already posted stuff on, like community tabs and stuff like that. So it's like, things are, moving forward.
Good.
But basically what I'm getting at is this goes right into my next goal.
Okay. That's what I say. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Which is the St. Judas tapes. That's something that I am very excited about. That's something that I really want to do because it coincides with everything. It's voice acting, it's recording, it's keeping, myself busy and focusing and all that. And
it's writing,
Writing, right. Basically what this is that without revealing too much, I do have a goal with this. I do have a goal that I want to try to at least build to and to try to, go about because this kind of gives me a chance to write before I'm going to write. Like officially.
Yes.
So I
get what you mean.
So it's like kind of get my feet wet, kind of know what it's like for my fingers to hit the keyboard again and like kind of get myself back into it. I actually wrote 2 episodes already and I'm working very, very closely with one of my best bros, Luke, who I want to have on the podcast eventually sometime, to sit and, bullshit about stuff and everything. I
actually talked to Alan tonight too. And I told him, I said, we need to get you over too and get you in and on like in person. And
yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
We've got the opportunity now to have at least 1, probably 2 guests, honestly, in here.
Honestly, with the setup right now, I think we'll probably stick with just 2 people for right now. Unfortunately, just because I don't know how the cameras and stuff will work. It's just going to take as far as like being able to see everyone and everything. But again, this does not mean this is the end goal. Like it's like this is like we're this is it's.
I didn't mean tomorrow. I just meant, but you're right. This is the whole thing. Like this is another goal. This is how this is going to look and be and.
But yeah, no, but basically like the St. Judas tapes, like I'm very excited about it because I'm essentially taking my own world and Luke's world that we basically have created on our own, and we're making something that's cohesive and kind of works together. Like I love when it's such a cop out, but like when you watch Disney and you see something, or actually no, Pixar is actually a better example, is that when you're looking around with like, like as the camera's like, panning and stuff inside of the fish tank and finding Nemo, and you look over and there's Boo's, floating mobile. Like it's like that thing. Like there's there's that, like there's little things and clues that have been hidden throughout the entire place that like they're Easter eggs. Can you find them? And there's going to be a lot of fun stuff like that. The first 2 tapes have a lot of different Easter eggs from a lot of different things that canon wise in Luke's world and my world that I've created that are both very prevalent. So it's going to be kind of like that. And with that too, there's going to be some surprises along the way. We've got some interesting things that we want to do with this. And our goal eventually is to take his final chapter that he has written for the Firefly trilogy that has been done on this channel, on the other channel, on Copyright 425, is that he's writing a fourth part. And that is, I want it to be nothing less than an amazing, terrifying 3D audio experience that you are going to get to like literally be in the action of what's happening. You're going to be in this asylum. You're going to be around the people that are there, the ghosts, the demons, the monsters, the blowtorches that are going off, the people that are being tortured, the dialogue, the ending, whatever that means, and like all this stuff. Like it's everything that comes together. We have heavily talked about this, and I've really wanted to take the time and let this essentially be our Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
We perfected something. We did something correct the first time. Let's take everything we did right and crank it to 1,000,000, and let's take everything we did wrong and correct it. And it's like, and just like do everything with excellence and do everything together with that. So there's not much else to be said because I don't want to spoil anything and I don't want to do anything else.
No, I get it.
But that is my second goal. That's something that I want to do. So I'm really excited about that. Again, everything is very cohesive with this room and the things that are in here. But
this room has a lot to do, I think, with a lot of our goals.
It does. Yeah.
It really does. And this room has pushed it to achieving goals that you wanted like earlier, I think, to where you thought that you might have to move before that you achieved.
Yeah. I mean, there was that. I mean, like, cause my thing is I always just kind of pushed myself to have the mentality of like, you know, oh man, like, dude, I want to do like a Joe Rogan, not his new setup, but his old setup that he had. Like, right. It was so cool. I mean, his new one's cool too, but I just like the original, but it's just, you know, knowing that he had all that space for his electronics, his table, his people, like, you know, the guy that was running it, Joe is able to do nothing except just talk to his guest. And then
be done.
Right. And that's kind of what I want. Like, I would love to, like TJ has even talked about it. Like, I want to have him on the podcast because I want to talk to him about music. I want to pick his brain. I want to get some people that I've not talked to for a long time and, you know, get them out here and like talk about, you know, their passions and like, you know, how they've like, you know, what's inspired them. I want to have, you know, the, you know, super, you know, intense, deep conversations you and I have, whether it is faith deconstruction or whether or not it's like, you know, we think this film will work as a sequel, or if it's things like that. Like, I love that shit. Like, this room is going to be able to do all those things.
It is.
You know, it's everything.
That's where I think, when we can get to that point to where I think up to 2 guests live in the room would be the max that we could do comfortably once we get to that point.
Right.
I don't think we would, not that we would need a room full, but like, I think that's pretty sufficient.
Yeah.
You know, host, co-host, and 1 guest, like, you know, so 1, you know, or maybe 2, but like I said, we could do that. I think with the amount of people that you know and I know mutually, the kinds of things that we could have, even if it's the same kind of topic, all of the people that could interact. Like, I would really like to have TJ and Alan here.
Yeah.
That's me and him and you and him.
Right. Yeah.
No, and I don't mean like,
right.
like a gang up, but that is 4 people with 2 similar tastes each and have things to play off of and talk about. Like, that would be a really interesting conversation.
Yeah.
I think Minx would be another one.
Yeah. It's being able to,
Mom.
Oh God, mom 100% needs to be on the podcast.
Heidi?
Without a doubt. God, that would be
like, there's many people.
Honestly, I think that it's like when you look at the people that we have been positively affected by, that we just love to just do life with and spend time with, their credits are too long to list. Like, dude, like it's we have been very, very, very blessed in many, many different ways, just about, the sheer just companionship that we have in the things that we do. So it's like, that's something I want to share with the world. That's something I like, like the Tootsie Roll story about you coming home in the middle of the night and mom, like, just like losing it. And it was like you were coming home late, but she was still like, wasn't one of those, she was mad at you. It was the fact that she's like, you're so pathetic. Like, it's just like, it was like, it's like, that's how mom like was and is. Like, there's never that judgment aspect of like, what the hell are you doing? It's more like, you're an idiot. It's that type of thing.
Now I can go to bed.
Yeah, right.
But no, so that you're right. Like, sorry, I'm right. This is the room.
We're all
right. This is the room that's going to help achieve goals. So, okay. So my last one is, this is going to be a combination of two things, and it's pretty much the same thing. One is I have a little bit of debt I need to pay off. It's actually not that bad.
And you and I have the same final thing. So
perfect. Yeah, yep. I have a little bit of debt, and I am fortunate enough to be where I'm at and help that go away very quickly.
Right.
Now, when I say quickly, I mean within the next couple of years, couple of years to where I can pay this debt off and then really put a good chunk towards or have for my ultimate goal within the next 5 years, which is I really, really, really want to build a container home.
Yep.
And
yeah,
I was really skeptical about these things at first. And long story short, I would come home from work, and for probably 3 months, I would see Ashley on, YouTube and Pinterest and all these things. And it would be, tiny home this and tiny home that, and, living off grid and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the fuck are you watching? She's like, oh man, these are cool. I'm like, I'm not living in a fucking tiny home. You can eat me, dude. Like the size of this room.
Right.
No.
Not happening.
No. 2 kids, a dog. I'm going to want to bang, dude. Can't do that there. No, but no, like honestly, that is, regardless of that is too small.
Right.
But one night I came home and I remember it, actually. I remember it. I came home and I had kind of a long day, made a drink, and got my plate of food. It was late. Like, I'd gotten home late just from like work and then running around afterwards. And I went upstairs and she had on YouTube, and it was, I forget the name of them, but they were building their container home like themselves. Mm-hmm. I was like, what the fuck? Why do you always watch this stupid? Oh, what's that? And like, dude, it caught me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, they might be on to something with these container homes. Then I started watching more, and then more and more and more and more and more. Obviously, you see a theme here. I was hooked. I was fucking hooked, and I have a plan. I'm not sharing my plan with any of you. No, I'm just kidding. It's basically like a horse. It's basically like a horseshoe, and how it's going to work is basically I want to get 40 by 20 foot. It's the biggest containers you can get, and I've looked them up. Now, again, you have to think you do have to have them shipped. You do have to have them shipped to you.
Right.
But they're $5,000 for a brand new one.
Right.
I don't need a brand new one. I need one that's like $1,000 to $1,500 that I can buy still, because, okay, yeah, it might have some rough patches or whatever, but they're made to go overseas, man. Like, yeah, they might rust a little bit, but they're pretty much sound, and I'm going to be cutting patches out. We watched the one last night. They were rough as fuck looking, but by the time they cut out all the windows, the doors, and attaching and doing all these things, all you need is the frame, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, they're literally made out of steel. Like they are just they reinforce themselves. Like it's ridiculous.
I look at it like this, man. My ultimate goal is I have a way, I have like a process. I feel like I want to do this. Where we live is relatively, I feel, decent for land, and for the amount of land that I need or want is not very much.
No,
I probably need anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 to buy some land. Okay, cool. Not that much in the grand scheme of things. When you think about, I'm not saying the price, but you told me the other day, I know how much you paid for this house.
right.
So 10, 15 grand my land. Now I got somewhere to put my containers. I can buy my containers and then put them on my land.
Yeah.
Then I can start building. I know enough people and friends of friends. I'm not saying, oh, have them do it all, but I'll help with I want to learn and I want to know how to do this. I'll help with everything I can. And yes, it'll probably help cut down on cost. But even at that, these homes aren't that expensive to build.
And they're incredible.
They are incredible.
They look amazing.
I want to make a horseshoe. So 3 of these 40 by 20s. And basically, it's going to make a horseshoe in the middle where it isn't containers is going to be the big square opening. This is going to be like my kitchen, my dining room, my living room. And then all of the containers are going to be like the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the this, the that, like the things that like you don't really need to have to like entertain.
Right.
And then the top, because it's all one big square now, is going to be a giant like patio kind of kicking area.
It's such a cool concept.
It's very basic.
Because this is what's great about these container homes is that you have the ability to be able to do a lot with very, very little.
Correct.
And it's because they already, again, they reinforce themselves and more reinforcements put in to be sure that it can withstand the weight of, however many people and, people like supplies and stuff that's going to be up there. Like if you have your grills and your tables and all that stuff. So it's like it can withstand, so much weight. It's genius. It's one of the most genius things I've ever seen. Like it's insane. Like
I was
else.
blown away when I really sat down and started looking at. I'm not saying that it kind of looks easy. I know it's not.
No.
I've done construction for many years of my life, and I've done other things, but still been in the same room when other things were happening.
By the way, you're not boring. I got hit with a fucking tired stick out of nowhere.
I know. So. Me too. I'm actually I've been up for a while too. We've both been up early, but no, that is actually, so that was my last like kind of ultimate goal was, man, like these container homes are genius. I can theoretically build a $200,000 home look like when what people would pay for like a real home for like $70,000, give or take. I might go a little under, I might go a little over, but compared to what's a $60, $70,000, $80,000 mortgage compared to $145,000 or $195,000 mortgage.
I can tell you right now that if I could end up with some of the total payments of some of the ridiculous houses I've seen made out of these different containers, there's no competition. I couldn't debate someone even seriously. Like it's just.
Think about what you paid for this house and what you could do with container homes.
It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's being able to.
You'd have a whole container just for a fucking podcast room.
Oh, without a doubt, man. I'd have like 18 people. It'd be great, man.
Yeah, no, that is the thing is that is a legit ultimate goal, and that is so it's 2021. So I would really hope that by at least 2026, something was at least in the works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether that's my land bought or already got or whatever, like at least something happening.
Right.
I do have my little bit of debt to pay off. It's an okay amount, not huge.
Right.
It's but it's still like, oh God, I need to do that first.
No, I get it, man.
But that is
It's enough to be daunting.
It is. It's enough to be daunting. So that is where that is both goals. And that is to just build one of these beautiful homes that are I don't mean like basic and simple, like boring, but they're very basic and simple on like what you kind of have to do compared to like another home, I feel, to just build from the ground up. Yeah, right. you gotta pour your foundation and stuff. Still, like you still have to do like basic home things, but your frame is kind of already there.
The
your
amount
bones
of work
are there.
The amount of work that's already done is
kind of astounding.
Yeah, it's
when you break it down like that.
I remember watching the compilation we were watching last night of them, speed, running this, it was
that 5 container one with the ones that they were beat up, but it was like, well, they were cutting a bunch of shit out, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. It was so cool. And like, it was kind of like one of those, like trying not to get satisfied challenges too. Like, it was like, wow, this is just so cool. But no, it was wild to just see like how it all came together and how much of a home it just looked like. It didn't look like I was in a container home. It looked like I was in like the camera anyway. It's like that. It was
yes.
Like I was in somebody's house.
You were just in this like elegant home.
Yeah.
So follow my ASMR channel and build me a house. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
No.
Plug it away. No shame.
No, that is honestly like I legit can say, going back to that other one with the ASMR channel, if I even didn't get paid and had 100,000 subscribers that followed me, it would still be satisfying because again, I know what I'm giving to those people.
Yeah.
I've gotten it in return. So anyways, those are my 3. Like I said, my third one was kind of like a weird bucket list, but that is a legit ultimate goal. That's why I was saying between the house and, starting the channel and all this stuff, like paying off my debt and getting this house obviously is key, number 1.
Yeah.
So Ireland it's a goal, but it's kind of a back burner goal.
Right. It's not something that you're going to work towards now. It's like kind of like you getting rid of your debt and getting this home and being able to do that is going to enable you to be able to
do
that.
All right, now I've got my house. Now let's go fucking celebrate.
That's honestly I mean, our goals are so cohesive, man. Like that. I pretty much want the same thing, but I'm more so just kind of when I say I want a container home, it's just like being able to say like, you know what? I want to be able to invite, my guys over this weekend, and I'm gonna buy steaks. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy that. Like whatever. It's like, dude, it's like just come on over. Let's have a good time. Let's just hang out. It's the mentality of, you know what? I'm gonna go visit BJ. I'm gonna go visit her and just take my time and just like not even worry about the expenses to be able to get out there. I'm gonna decide on, like, oh man, like I could get this new computer part. This GTX looks amazing. It's like being able to know for a fact that I can comfortably live while still being responsible in that aspect that everything is still paid.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I really, really, really want to shoot for. That's what I really want. I really want to try to, because I've done, like, I'm not going to reveal numbers here, like on the internet, but like more so it's the idea that I know for a fact that when my debt is gone, like all debt, like what my numbers will look like every month. And it's incredible. Like this is kind of like one of those things where it's like, you don't understand how much money you're really paying off and how much is actually disappearing from you every month. That like, that $250 that you put towards this or whatever, it's like, imagine if you didn't have to spend that.
Right.
So it's like, that's where I'm at.
Or do like, sometimes I would still pretend.
Yeah.
So I would pretend like, okay, yeah, all right, I paid this off, but sweet, I'm already living like this.
Mm-hmm.
So that $75 a month for this, whatever. Well, let me do that for a couple months.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
Now I've got some play money to go buy that GTX card.
Right.
Or I've got the money to be like, you know what? I just want a fucking new pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Or because you're already used to that money being gone. So that's where like but I understand where you're like, you don't realize like how much you put towards that stuff, and when it's gone what you can really do. That's where you got to be careful, because now you're just going to fill that with something dumb all the time. Not you. I'm saying like in general, that's usually what happens is that, okay, well, that $250 is gone a month because of my bills paid. Well, now you're just gonna be like, fuck yeah, pizza and beer and movies and like,
oh yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, you can afford it now, but let's say you didn't do that and now you wanted to go see BJ. You wanted to go to Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay, well, stop moving it, bro. Like that's how you got to do that to be able to be like, yeah, I can achieve this. I know I can build this house. I just have to do certain things. Not saying that I'm not going to live life and I'm not going to maybe blow a wad here and there, but I'm also going to pay attention to the ultimate goal.
Right.
And that's, I think, your last one too, is like you have this ultimate goal of kind of, I think with like just do, like you said, like doing what you want. Like in a sense, like you just kind of, I'm not saying this but like, I want to buy that guitar. I'm going to buy the fucking guitar.
Right.
I want to, you know what?
Like it won't matter. Like it's like that's kind of where I want to be, is that it's like, like being able to save up enough, being able to free myself up enough where it's just kind of like, for me to be able to look at somebody and just be like, kind of like that scene from The Core when they're like asking the scientists, being like, well, what kind of amount of money would it take to build this thing? And he like laughs and he's like, it would take like somewhere close to like $90 trillion to even like conceptually take this, like it's not the right number, but it was like something ridiculous.
Yeah.
To which they looked at him and said, will you take a check? And he just like kind of looks at them like,
excuse me?
I'm sorry. Like what? Like it's because it's like, that's how I've looked at things before. Like whether it's like, it's a new computer or it's like, it's a car part, or if it's like something like something that's serious, or that's something that's like, not as, intense or something like that. Like that's, I want to be able to know that I just have that taken care of. And it's like, there's always that mentality of, there's that Christopher Titus thing where it's like, he's like, I didn't have money growing up. So when I did get money, I went nuts, so it's like, I want to be able to go nuts, but still be able to be responsible. That's kind of what I want, where it's like, I've met people in my life that have had money, that they've splurged, but they've done very well with it. They've been very smart with their money.
I'll end on this. Well, we'll end on this real quick, because it's kind of just a short, like, kind of statement is
absolutely.
My ex, Callie, she kind of came. Her family came from money, but very humble.
Yes. I actually forgot many times that was what her roots were. Like it was just like, because like she never once lived like that ever.
She didn't
or acted like that.
Well,
rather.
right. You're absolutely right. She did not. She was not a like rich snob, but that's also because her parents raised her that way. And that was the thing, was I would have never known.
No.
Had she not told me that, her dad was like the youngest vice president in FedEx history, when they had their own store, like, and then we moved there, like, and I saw numbers and I knew what they were pulling in, and they had a very big house.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, like in your face.
No.
They had that like one room where it looked like nobody should ever go in, but they did. They were those people that they didn't give a fuck.
They had the house that was the museum that they didn't care about.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Correct. Right. And the thing is that they drove. Well, her dad ended up getting a pretty nice car at one point. Not they drove shitty cars, but they didn't drive brand new Beamers and Mercedes. Now they did when he worked for FedEx, but that was also because it was a company issued car. No. You know what his car was that he bought? It was the brand new at that time, the Twilight, the Volvo, like that kind of weird hatchback.
Yeah.
That was the first brand new car he had bought in like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
She drove a Toyota Camry that looked like the Lexus.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was in great condition. So like that's the thing, is even with their clothing and stuff. Now, going back to the whole, I had money and I went nuts. We lived with them for a little while when we first moved back to Pittsburgh. And her mom we would get beer and stuff. Like we would always have, drinks after work, and it was nice. Her mom would always get like a good like Sam Adams and all this, good liquor. And John, her dad, always got Milwaukee's Best.
Really? That was his thing.
I said, John, buddy, you could literally buy like half of Anheuser-Busch. It was just a joke, but
right.
Again, very, very, very wealthy people.
Right.
I was like, why do you buy this? And he looked me in the face and said, I didn't always have money, and piss is piss.
Ooh.
This is what I drank going to college. This is what I drank when I didn't have money. It's what I drank all the time to get me through hard times. I have money now. Yeah, I can buy Sam Adams all day. I can buy $50 case of beer every single day if I want. I choose not to because this is what I drank.
Yeah.
Money didn't change him.
No.
Money
That's incredible. I love
money
that.
And I know that sounds dumb because it's beer, but that's honestly the truth. Money didn't change, so much so that he still drank the shittiest fucking beer. Not even Natty. Milwaukee's Best.
Oh my God.
And that really hit home, where he had the opportunity to do whatever he wanted. At any point in time, he still chose certain things because that was like a comfort zone almost.
Yeah.
Or in the fact of, I don't need to spend $40 on a case of beer.
I've known very wealthy people that, like for instance, there's someone that I know for a fact that is very, very, comfortable with money. And when I asked him, I said, "What's your favorite type of water?" It was a part of like this conversation we were having. That sounds random, but like I promise it was cohesive. But they said they loved the sparkling water, but it was in the green, like almost kind of glass bottle or whatever. I can't. It's like a Perignon or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Perrier or whatever.
Yeah, it was something to that effect. But basically, what they said was that they were like, well, if I had to pick, my favorite one, it'd be this. But if I drank this all the time, I'd be broke.
Right.
So they still have that. Excuse me. They still have that like type of restraint.
Don't get me wrong. I don't mean to be like money, like like whatever. But like I just that was a great example of like what you were saying, and the fact of like you can't wait to pay off debt either, and just kind of being able to do what you want whenever you want as far as that. And that I hope that, let's say I take off, or I do just pay off all my debt as well, and I can kind of just relax with money, that it wouldn't change me to where I just blow it all on dumb shit.
Right.
They didn't. They had a respectable home. They had respectable vehicles. They shopped at Walmart for clothes half the time. They didn't just go to, Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all these things. Yeah, they could, and they did have some stuff like that. Some.
Right.
Her dad bought both the girls, I think it was like Louis Vuitton sunglasses for Christmas. It was a Christmas gift. They got one gift and then like a couple other funny things. Okay, so yeah, one expensive gift, but that's why she was the way she was too. They weren't spoiled. Right. They were taught the value of a dollar, and they were taught, you work hard. So that being said, your goal is pretty much what everybody would want. I feel like it's not that you want to be rich. You just want to know that you can just go do it if you want, no matter if it costs something.
Right.
It doesn't have to cost anything, but if it's like, oh yeah, man, I'm going to go do this today. All right, sweet. And you just go. When you're like, hey man, we're going to go do this. I'm like, fuck. Well, like, are we going to eat lunch first? Are we going to do that? Like,
it's because
who's driving, like it's all of those things. That would be incredible, man, to just be like, just at the drop of a hat, if you had the time to do whatever it was, to be able to do it no matter what.
Yeah. It would be incredible, man.
That would be incredible. That's a great goal.
That's what I try to shoot for, even if not, it's like just being able to just like, that, hey, what, appetizers can happen a little more often. It's like, even that's a win, man. It's all about it. But But
Well,
tonight was a
what,
very
what, yeah. What did, I was say? What did you feel about tonight? You know, with just some like towels and stuff in here. So
makes me want to talk about Gremlins next week. I'll see you guys next week where we eat a rusty hook. Anyway. No, but
Rusty hook
that was
a
a
rusty hooker.
No, there are no such things. And if they are, they're metal and you shouldn't go near them.
A rusty hooker?
Yes. What's the only way that she would be a rusty hooker was because she's
Maybe
made out
no.
of
I'm
metal.
saying like rusty, like out of the game for a while.
I took that way too literally.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for taking the time to be able to watch this far deep into the world of our
About an hour and 40
antics
minutes.
and things that we talk about.
Actually, an hour and 40 minutes and
We're really gonna set this
5,
up.
4, 3, 2, 1. 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. And I don't know what the next episode's going to be, but I know it's going to be fun. So thanks for sticking this out, through, this new setup and with the new things that we're figuring out. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Adios.
Deuces.